Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is Haarute, my name is Fan. Hello, what's up? Last time, we got a very depressing episode regarding Joyce and Buffy. We got a confirmation that Joyce has a brain tumor, and it doesn't look great, and I'm personally of the belief she's just going to die. And that's gonna be incredibly depressing for not just Buffy, but like the whole show, because it's kind of her show. So I'm kind of just like, I'm bracing myself from a lot of tragedy. It's just a very depressing season, maybe. So yes, that's what's going on. Mostly, the relationship with Riley also falling apart. Spike is kind of getting more insufferable as we go on. The woman in red, the Beast or whatever, she's just really closing in on Buffy. She's just really trying to get her because she's trying to find where the key is, and the key is Dawn. And I also talked last episode about how, Dawn being the key, which is Buffy's sister, and like now that Joyce is potentially dying, I'm thinking about, well, that's just gonna be a very depressing and also really bad thing for Buffy to deal with now, because Buffy's gonna have to play the role of not only an orphan but also the older sister that has to look after someone who now she knows is not real. She is, but she isn't, but she is. So it's just a really weird situation, and it's gonna be taking a lot of effort from Buffy and for everybody, really. So we'll see how this goes. We should watch next episode now. I have no idea what we're doing, but yeah, that was a quick recap. Let's begin. Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel and watch the next 2 Buffy reactions, as well as the Angel Watch Alongs over there. All that is available. Alright, let's begin. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 5, Episode 9. Let's go.
I have 2 daughters.
Okay, so this episode we're gonna go deeper into what she is. What did she do to that man?
You've scheduled your surgery for day after tomorrow at 10 in the morning. How's that sound to you?
So surgery is possible.
Oh, the day after tomorrow. I don't think I can stand to stay here another 2 days just waiting.
I don't know why I feel like she's gonna die regardless. Even though they're going like, oh yeah, we can fix it. I'm like, I am bracing myself for tragedy still.
Besides, Riley's filling in for me with the others. I'm sure they have everything under control.
God. Yeah. What if they recruit Spike to go help them? Is he seducing random vampires so he can kill them? I mean, I have to guess that on some level it's kind of like him wanting to feel something. Like somebody wants him on some level. Because he feels unwanted by Buffy. So on some level it's like, well, these fucking parasites want me, so. The thing that I'm worried about is to see Joyce deteriorate.
Thanks, Dawn. I believe I have something in here for you.
She has a headache.
Biggish little one.
We're doing World War I now. The last exam was really
Joyce?
pretty easy.
Something's wrong.
So it should be no hassle.
Not just a headache, there's something wrong.
Exam.
I'd rip it in half and stick it in bed with me.
She's deteriorating already.
Mom?
I think I'm gonna take a little rest now.
I was ready for this, but I did say it was gonna suck. That's the worst part of this, because it's a fucking brain.
The thing that's pressing on her brain, sometimes it might make her say weird things.
Does she know she's saying them?
Not really.
And after the operation, no more pressing. She'll be all normal all the time.
Oh, excuse me.
Careful, the facts say a picnic is in order. What is that thing? There's no data. There's no pictures on this one. There! What is the data? There's no one in there.
Again.
Going home? Home?
What's wrong with him? Is it like Mom?
That's what I'm thinking. Before I was thinking if they're maybe related. Maybe they're not, but they see Dawn as something that's wrong. If Joyce sees Dawn as something that's wrong.
The mental wards book beyond capacity, literally nowhere to put them, so
Okay.
the ones with families are letting him go home. Like his family's
The
gonna be
mental
able to take
ward.
care of him. He has to have someone watch him 24/7.
If Buffy was paranoid, she would be able to put together that they saw something wrong in Dawn, but that's just like a random guy on the street, so like, she doesn't have any reason to think that that's important.
That's the bun with the pineapple. The real ones never made sense to me. I sort of have my own.
I love Tara. I'm gonna continue saying that.
Moose getting a sponge bath?
That's a creative one. Big fan.
A huge flaming meteor about to crash into something.
Some crazy shit. Okay, we're wilding shit happening now. We never had like a meteor from space show up. God, is Buffy gonna do aliens? You know, I would be super in for that. I think I'm traditionally more of a sci-fi enjoyer than I am a supernatural enjoyer.
I know what I said. I said.
Okay,
I said I won't
this
go
man.
very far.
Who are we?
It's very space.
We're hiding. We're climbing.
And needs to waste.
What the fuck was that? Also, they deliberately searched for this man, or, well, this man is specifically deliberately went up to it. So, you know, that's either a big coincidence or they has to be connected. So what the fuck? It's still there? Can people not see it?
I can't. I can't stay here waiting for 2 days for this operation. I just can't. No reason to get upset? Oh, right. Sorry. I must just think there is because of my brain tumor.
Wouldn't it be better for her to rest someplace where she felt safe and comfortable?
Even if it would mean some work for you, taking care of her?
Oh, thank God.
I'll do it, anything.
Can we go now? Let's go now.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me get all the medications and all the instructions on how to do everything.
She's right. Let's do this right. We don't want to forget anything.
This is even more tragic if she forgets one thing and that kills her. Oh god, this... Like, is it either invisible or, like, people just don't look up? Well, the entire gang is here.
If there's radiation, you can, like, go all sterile.
He runs away. Is it a space pod? It is. It is a space pod.
It went here.
Oh! I thought that they took him to the hospital, but I guess that was just a completely unrelated ambulance. What did it do? Wait, hold on. Is this the guy that was touched by
He was at the hospital.
Glory?
A mental patient.
I know that that is not the same guy that Willow just mentioned, but is that the guy that Glory touched that we saw in the recap? Otherwise, why did I see that in the recap? Bunch of goop.
We're experienced.
Yes, because it seems like Roe is dealing with creatures from outer space, except that we don't ever do that.
I love how we all just accepted alien shit, like, really quickly.
I'm gonna stay here, examine the body some more. Look around a little bit.
Yeah, don't do anything hunterly.
No, I'm just not
Where
going
is
to
he
research,
staying?
which I'm sure you guys figured out. Like me, a good crime scene.
Give us a call if you need help.
Call me if you learn anything.
You got it. I don't want to be the one that finds the bodies anymore.
Why is he staying? Are you gonna call the initiative?
This is Riley Finn.
Yeah.
You have an Agent Miller. Yes. Emergency frequency.
Yeah, we need their help to figure out what the fuck this is. The mental ward is full. This is happening. Like, I'm wondering if these are the people that Glory touched. The Beast or whatever her name is. The woman in red. Because I think that in the recap, that was the man that she touched. The man that's now dead in the forest. I could be wrong. I have to compare frames. The little alien scuttling around. What the fuck is this? Just a giant cockroach of a man.
It's gonna be too much for you. We can make your mom perfectly comfortable here.
No, I got this. What do you
She's
think?
biting more than she can
Just
chew.
like your... What do you think he was big?
I told you she's gonna...
Let's get the hell out of here.
God, this sucks. Oh, they're walking right to it. Maybe Glory's creating agents that are unable to see Dawn. Like, they see beings on a frequency that they cannot perceive Dawn. So, she's trying to infect as many people as possible so that eventually they will find Dawn for her, maybe?
Oh, Buffy, it hurts.
Oh, no.
It hurts my eyes.
It's off.
I've never felt more, like, worried about, like, real shit than I have with this show right now.
Usually cut your girlfriend for this kind of thing?
Her mom's dying.
Came out of that. Gotta be some trace radiation.
We have Geiger counters in the packs.
Shouldn't be too much background gamma noise out here.
Tracking it down with a radiation trail. It's followed us. Is it following Dawn? A Slayer from outer space, and it's following Buffy. No, Joyce! God damn it. And the lights are off, so they can't see anything.
Oh! What are you doing?
I'm making breakfast. You shouldn't eat anymore. You're disgustingly fat. Oh, Buffy, I don't know what I'm doing.
They should stay at
Don't
the...
touch me. You sing.
She has the same thing.
Please.
Maybe.
Get away from me. You're nothing. You're a shadow.
Mom.
I don't know what you are, how you got here.
Mom, it's Dawn.
Don, honey, what's wrong?
Does she have the same thing as everyone else? So yes, it did track down that man, but something happened to him, and she's having the same thing. I mean, the doctors identified that she has a brain tumor, but they didn't identify that with the other people. But also, doctors sometimes just don't, like, actually look into things.
She hates me.
No,
She called me a thing.
I told you what the doctor said about the tumor.
No. Not just Mom.
People tell her a lot.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about the man in the hospital?
Called me a thing, too. And there was another one. Weird guy outside the magic shop.
Okay, this is all connecting.
Why does everybody keep doing that? What's wrong with me?
Nothing. It's not you. I think there's something that happens in people's brains when there's something wrong. Nothing's real except for them. That's all it is. It is not you. And if anyone says anything like that to you again, don't listen. Even if it's Mom.
I hate it.
I know.
How far back does this list of anomalies go?
Pretty far. Back
Oh,
to the
shit.
Queller impact in the 12th century.
Queller.
Oh, you found something in your book? In the Meteors in You book?
Primitive people used to believe that the moon was a cause of insanity. Sometimes they would pray to the moon to send a special meteor to fix the problem the moon had caused. These meteors were expected to quell the madmen.
The man in the woods.
Okay.
Okay,
We've
I'm looking
solved a
at
lot of
history right
things.
now. It says in the Middle Ages there were these sweeping plagues of madness. People were losing their marbles everywhere, but then it would suddenly subside.
Suddenly subside?
Who summoned it?
Who else? My money's on Glory, our resident beastie summoner.
A Queller demon?
Yeah, that's our purpose. It's sort of a scavenger that can be summoned to kill.
Crazy people.
How'd you know?
Because I got 5 corpses here at the mental ward at Sunnydale Memorial. It's okay. Joyce was released earlier today. That intern, Ben, told me.
But we should still tell Buffy.
Puddles. Tell me. Tell me because I need to know why. Why are you staring at me like that? What are you asking me? You are asking me, aren't you?
God. This is so depressing. She's gonna die and they're not gonna hear her. What the fuck is this radio? Okay, she's still alive at least, for now. I love that scene of Buffy crying, by the way.
I don't like the way you're staring at me. Did they tell you that at the gate? Stop staring
Yeah,
at me.
it's right
I
there.
don't like
That's
it.
what I thought. Oh god. She's not listening, she's not hearing. Girl! The music's off! Okay, there we go.
There's something out there, Buffy. It's after Mom.
You guys stay in here.
Okay. I'm worried that the initiative's gonna show up and they're like gonna kill Joyce or something somehow. At this point, you have to turn on the lights. I know we have Slayer sense or whatever, but we gotta see. Oh, it's all dark too. If someone shows up with a gun, it's gonna be worse. What are you doing here? Were you stalking my home?
What the hell are you doing in my house?
Put the counter bug on
Wait,
you, can I?
those pictures of me?
Okay. Get it off of you! Is it biting on you or... No, I think it just died. God damn it.
Okay.
You just missed a real nice time.
Okay.
It's gone.
It's gone. You promise.
I promise.
Yeah, but now we have a bunch of military guys in our home with guns. Yo, Spike needs to like get the fuck away. He needs to like jump out the window and leave. They're gonna catch him otherwise. Maybe Riley will be like, oh, you know what, it's fine, it's my friend. Okay, the doctor guy.
It's strange. A body might ask what exactly it is you think you're doing. Because to a humble postulant, it looks like chaos. Like unnecessary attention drawn where it ought not to be.
Get out.
Sir. Sir, forgive me. I just want to understand, why summon the Queller?
He
What
did
do you
it.
think?
Because I'm cleaning up Lori's mess.
Ooh.
Just like I've done my whole damn life.
Ooh, we're learning. We're learning things. When he said get out and he wasn't freaked out by this man being here, I was like, okay, there's something here about him. Is he... Okay. Putting things together, kind of.
I want to ask you something.
Huh?
And if I'm being crazy, you just tell me, okay? And I had not a dream exactly, more like I had this knowledge. It just came to me like truth, you know? Even though it didn't seem possible, even though I shouldn't think such things.
What?
That Dawn isn't real.
That Dawn, she's not mine, is she?
No.
You're just gonna tell her that?
She does belong to us, though.
Yes, she does.
And she's important. To the world, precious.
True. I don't know in which way, but
As
true.
precious as you are to me. Then we have to take care of her. Buffy, promise me. If anything happens, if I don't come through this...
Mom.
No, listen to me. No matter what she is, she still feels like my daughter. I have to know that you'll take care of her, that you'll keep her safe, that you'll love her like I love you.
I promise.
Good. Oh, my sweet, brave Buffy.
No.
What would I do without you?
There is like 0 chance that Joy survives this season. Maybe even this episode. Well, the episode is ending, so... That's it. That's our episode. Ooh. There's a lot to say there. Like, that was a very big episode, I feel like, connecting a lot of things that I've been suspecting for a while. So I'm happy that I've been noticing them. I'm happy that I've been able to kind of put things together, and this episode just fully confirms all of it. While also simultaneously giving us some new revelations about the Doctor Man, or whatever. So another important episode here, and I just said, like, I feel glad that I was paying enough attention to like piece some of the stuff that was revealed in this episode together, because before, when we started to see the thing that is turning people crazy, for a lack of a better term, I was thinking to myself, like, they maybe the people that don't identify Dawn as if she was someone that like was real, as if she was something that was wrong in the world. I was thinking that there was a connection between the one guy that we saw and then Joyce. And then we started to see more people that are kind of like ill. And I was thinking that they were all befalling the same thing, and there was some kind of connection. The connection seems to be that they were either touched or made to be like that in some way by Gloria or whatever. The woman in red, the Beast. It's so funny that I call her the Beast because the subtitle just said that once. And it would be really funny if that had like no business in the show for her to be called that. If that was never a nickname that she had and I just call her that because of a subtitles fumble, that would be really funny. But whatever, Glory. It seems to be that she is making these people unwell. And I could be wrong, but let me check. Yeah, there is a man from security that she touches in episodes prior. And is that the same guy that we see in this episode? I think it is. I think it's the same guy. The guy that she touches when she's kidnapped. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. I'm comparing them. And maybe other people would have realized that faster, but I didn't. But okay, so the guy that Glory touches when she has kidnapped the monk and then Buffy shows up to save him. There is a random security guy that she touches and puts like her fingers in his head or whatever, and some glowing light shows up, and he goes, "Ugh," and then he falls over, and I'm like, what happened? We get to see kind of what happened here. So he became very unwell, very mentally unwell. And everyone's like, what's going on? And he just goes and to the hospital, and everyone just kind of thinks to themselves, like, yeah, okay, like these are people that are mentally unwell, and the mental ward is just kind of full of people now. So well, I guess fucking go home. I don't know. Like this happens a lot to a lot of people. And I was wondering if Joyce was suffering from the same thing. And the reason why there was a connection, like even before that I made a connection, was because the first guy that was unwell, that Dawn met in front of the magic shop, he looked at Dawn and he saw something that shouldn't be there. That she didn't belong or whatever. And then we saw Joyce have like a moment where she like blipped, and then she looked at Dawn and she was like, what are you doing here? You know? So it was the thing where to me it felt like, you know, those were two instances where people like tapped into the Matrix and they were able to understand that Dawn is not a normal person. Like you see Dawn and you see something that's wrong. So in my head, I was thinking like those two are connected maybe on some level. And then this episode tells me that they were connected. So Buffy's mom, Joyce, had some kind of like, she met Glory on some level, or she befell victim to something that Glory was doing. So Glory seems to be someone who is causing this, either willingly or unwillingly, like directly or indirectly, but we do see an instance of her causing it directly by touching that man. So that is a thing that she can just do. So she's just been touching people and turning them like this. The question becomes, why does she do that? And I had a theory while I was watching the episode where I was like, well, maybe she is creating agents that will find the key eventually, maybe. But then she's also not keeping track of those agents. But it would make sense for her to, I guess, make agents that are trying to find the key on some level, because they will eventually run into the key and everyone's gonna point out to something that is wrong that shouldn't be there. Like, imagine if there's like 1,000 people that are like this and you go to them and like 1,000 of them point their finger in a single direction, then you know that that's where the key is, and that would be Dawn. However, it doesn't seem like she's tracking them. It doesn't feel like she's keeping tabs on who they're looking at and what they're doing. But at the same time, Glory doesn't seem like the kind of like evil villain that's like a planner, so that makes sense, I guess. I would see her more as the kind of villain that would just randomly touch people and then like, whatever, go do your thing, and eventually she'll be like, all right, let's see what those chumps are up to, let's see if they found something important or whatever, and then they did, and she's like, okay, I know where the key is now. Or alternatively, and this is the part that's more interesting to me, I think, it's what Joyce said. Because Joyce said, we had a scene here with Buffy and Joyce where Joyce just straight up asked Buffy, like, Dawn is not mine, is it? Like, and she specifically said, like, she had a moment of, like, clarity. A moment of, like, she understood perfect truth for a second. It just came to me like truth, you know? That's what she said. And then she asked if Dawn is not hers, if Dawn is not, she doesn't belong here, right? And so what I'm thinking is that maybe what they gain is not, and this is crazy, what they gain is not something necessarily that's about finding the key. It is about understanding truth. So then I guess I would have to really start looking into what they're saying, into what every quote unquote crazy person says, and whether or not that is true at all. God, why am I thinking about Drusilla now? I don't know why. I just looked at an ant on my desk and my brain was like, I'm thinking about Drusilla for some reason. Well, the reason why I'm thinking about Drusilla now is because, God, it would be crazy if this was connected. I would love that. The reason why I'm thinking about Drusilla is because people saying crazy shit. And I am now thinking about whether what they're saying is something that has a level of truth to it. But that is making me think about Drusilla because I've done the exact same thing about Drusilla. Not long ago, actually. I think it was during an Angel episode when I was watching Angel and his like past with Darla, and Drusilla showed up in it. And I think I was thinking about what Drusilla was saying, and I was thinking about maybe there is something of truth of what she's saying, all the crazy shit she says, like maybe I should be paying attention to that. And I just realized that that's just what I'm doing now. And now I'm drawing a connection because Drusilla is very much similar to these people. People that are just seemingly saying a bunch of crazy shit and we don't really have an understanding as to why that is. But now we've seen that this has happened multiple times across the ages, really, with the Googling that Willow did. So she found information of like dating back multiple years to like the 12th century of like, and they figure this out, and this was crazy random that they did, but good job on them, that something that happens a lot is that there is some kind of like madness that takes over a place, a wave of madness that affects many people, and then some kind of meteorite falls, a hollow meteorite, and then in that hollow meteorite, you go and they used whatever that was in order to pacify those people that were crazy, which I guess just means kill. And then we find out where the origin of that is in the sense of the Doctor Man. I have no idea what his name is. I don't think they said it. We had the like creepy face minion referred to him as Sir. So this is an interesting thing because now we have multiple parties here. Now we have some kind of like power struggle or something going on where we have a Glory and now we have this Doctor Man, whatever his name is. And it's so funny because I refer to Glory as like maybe the devil at some point, and now I'm like thinking, well, is the Doctor God? I don't know. But it seems like they are contentious with one another. It seemed because the minion asked him, like, why did you summon the thing? And he said, like, well, I'm cleaning up Glory's mess, just like I've done my whole damn life. Okay. Like that doesn't sound like enemies, but it sounds like they are contentious to one another. It sounds like siblings, kind of. Like it feels like they're both siblings of like the apocalypse or something, and one of them is very chaotic and the other one very much isn't. The other one is more orderly. And so he is trying to make it so the chaotic one doesn't ruin whatever they want to do. So he keeps her in check. Or doesn't keep her in check, but he cleans up her messes, which is what he says here. And he did also say, just like I've been doing my whole damn life. So that sounds like they date back to the 12th century or even, well, older than the written word. So like old. So they've been around for a long time. They are kind of primordial beings, primordial entities. They're both together, and one of them is the chaotic one of them is the orderly one. She is making crazy people, and maybe she doesn't do it for any particular reason. Maybe she's just being chaotic, actually. And that's why he's cleaning up her mess, because he's like, okay, we're drawing too much attention to ourselves or something by making this wave of like mentally unwell people. So I have to clean the slate, like, fuck them, just get rid of all of them. So he summons this demon in order to ensure that that doesn't happen. Or maybe, oh god, this is even worse. Maybe the thing that Joyce has is, well, because now we know it's not a tumor, right? Or it might be a tumor, but we know that it's glory-induced tumor. We know that it's a supernatural tumor. And that's the thing. Why would he want to silence the people that have it? Right? Like, why would he want to do that? Because, like, I think that if he's thinking, like, I don't want to attract too much attention to ourselves, having, like, I don't know, like 100 like mentally unwell people versus having like 100 dead bodies that just show up in a hospital one day, I think the second one draws more attention, which is why the minion was asking him, why are you doing that? So he replied with, because I'm cleaning up her mess, which now is making me worry about what the tumor is. Because now in my brain I'm thinking some crazy shit like, I don't know, like Joyce has some kind of like egg in her brain. Like something that's gonna hatch and burst her head open and a demon is gonna show out of her, right? And that demon can be used to track them down or something, like, I don't know. I'm not necessarily believing anything of what I'm saying, by the way, I just say words. But it's kind of the direction I'm looking at of like what she has is not normal. Therefore, it is very concerning because the surgery is not going to be successful because that is a supernatural tumor, not a normal tumor, because it is glory-induced tumor. And because of that, I'm worried about what might happen with it, right? It's going to be something different. Now I'm trying to think about shadows for some reason. Because the episode that we got a couple episodes ago, or was it the previous one? It was the episode called Shadow. And the reason why it was called Shadow, in my head, it was because, well, in my head, pun intended, not intended. But the reason why I was thinking like, oh, it's called Shadow because, you know, they found a shadow in her brain in the x-ray or whatever, so they have to look at what it is, and it's like, oh, the meaning of the word shadow is because it's, the shadow in her brain, which is the tumor, right? Because that's what's important. But now I'm thinking about it, and they refer to Dawn as a shadow too, something that isn't there, but something that is a reflection of there, something like that. If Dawn is a shadow, then what is casting the light? God, that is a bizarre ass question. I don't know. In my head, I was thinking like maybe the people that are unwell are the people that are like consistently summoning Dawn here, and like, I don't know, Glory's trying to get rid of them by spreading this disease, so then Dawn's disguise like stops working or something. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. So now the plot thickens, I don't know what the bigger picture is between Glory and the Doctor dude, but like there is something there about with these two characters. So that also kind of like maybe recontextualizes the Doctor a little bit, because the Doctor, man, like it's like, well, in my head I was thinking like, why are we following him? And I thought, well, maybe he's just an average Joe, and he, like, it's gonna be cool to follow an average Joe that just gets involved somehow into the plot, and that's gonna be fun. No, fuck that. He's actually a main antagonist too. Which is like, it's a reveal, and it's cool, but I kind of, in my head, I'm kind of thinking like, man, I wish that would just have been some guy. I think that would have been fun. I like the idea of just having a random guy just be part of the plot because like he just happened to be there at the correct time in order to have some kind of crucial information or something like that. Again, I loved it part 4. That is just a big reveal. I don't know what to do with that. We'll just have to watch. We'll just have to keep watching and see what happens with the two of them. But he was summoning alien demons. Or, well, he was summoning demons, but they came from outer space. I don't know how that summoning works, but whatever. It's still a demon summoning. It works the same thing, right? I played games where the way demons are summoned is by, like, literally them coming down from meteors. Just being like, oh, and then they fall down, and then there's a big guy that shows up. It's like, whatever. But let's talk about Joyce and how depressing this part of the story is. Because I said in last episode, and I said it here again too, that the saddest thing is going to be to see Joyce deteriorate slowly. To see Joyce lose herself. Well, the thing is that it wasn't slowly, it just kind of happened immediately. And beyond happening immediately, it's more so the situation that we're having immediate surgery. It's just happening in 2 days or at the end of this episode. So we'll see what happens next episode. But I already mentioned it seems to be of supernatural root cause. So maybe that won't do anything, or maybe it will, and at which point I will continue to remain concerned. What Joyce said here at the end of this episode, what the conversation she had with Buffy, really made me feel like Joyce is fucking dead. Like, it just really made me feel like there is no shots she survives this season. Maybe even this episode or like the next one, or like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, I give her like 3 episodes most. Maybe even the first minute of next episode. I just don't see her surviving, and that's incredibly depressing. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm immediately thinking. Like, that's the vibe I get from the interactions we have with her. But it's incredibly depressing for her to just deteriorate like that and to just start saying random things, and for everyone just having to live with that. There was this really cool scene of Buffy just washing the dishes in pure darkness and just breaking and crying. And I really like that scene. I really do. I was kind of talking over it and making jokes about the radio, because honestly the radio was playing some music that it was just the same repetitive loop, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Like, it should be playing like Living on a Prayer or something, right? Like, that's not what should be playing some Sure. But yeah, like the sadness of Buffy breaking while she's just doing this very menial task, just trying to keep herself occupied, trying to let her mind not think about things, but she's constantly thinking about it because this is insane. This is incredibly depressing, having to deal with your mom in this situation. And she also has to take care of Dawn, and she's trying really hard to do that too. Okay, I guess something I can talk about here is how Riley seems to have gone back to the initiative, kind of. He seems to just have completely been like, okay, we're doing the initiative thing again. Calling in the boys, they're gonna help me out and try to find the alien threat or whatever. And like, it kind of worked. They did manage to track it down to the right places, but they were a little bit too late. Buffy was attacked and her mom was attacked, and then she stopped it. And then they arrived too late. And it's like, God, the fact that Spike was there too for like no reason, it's just worse for Riley, because Riley was like, damn, you were here, like you and Buffy defeated it, okay, and I didn't do anything again. Like, Riley feels like shit. And that's also something, like, an interesting reading I said at the beginning of the episode when we see Riley, he was getting sucked on by a vampire. Like what I said, I think it's just absolutely true, is that it feels like maybe Riley is kind of not relapsing, because it's not that he ever had this, but he's going to random vampires in vampire bars to just get sucked on, because he's just kind of feeling like he feels like Buffy doesn't want him. He feels like Buffy doesn't like him, and he is having this thing where, like, this is weird, but it's this idea of wanting to feel wanted. The one person that should want you doesn't. She's busy doing other shit. And so he goes off to try and find that sense of fulfillment from like anywhere else. And he goes to like random vampires because it's like, well, my girlfriend doesn't want me. No one else I know wants me. I guess I'm gonna go and like have a parasite leech off of me because at least they want me. So he's just kind of like dosing on that like high of wanting to feel like somebody needs you, which a vampire needs you to live. They need to suck on your blood in order to live. It's a parasite. And then after that, he just like, I'm assuming kills them. Maybe he doesn't kill all of them, but if he kills them afterwards, then it's like he's also dosing on the sense of fulfillment of like, I'm doing something right, you know. I'm a fighter still, you know. So like he's really just going through all these like very unhealthy coping mechanisms over the fact that he doesn't feel like Buffy likes him, doesn't feel like his girlfriend loves him. So I think Riley is gonna go back to initiative life for sure. Like it feels like that dam just broke. Like that was something he wasn't willing to do before, and now he just crossed that line, and he did so in a manner where Buffy saw it, even though she told him that she didn't want them. So I think that's gonna be the strain in the relationship where Buffy's gonna be like, dude, I don't have time for this. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. And Riley might just be like, okay, I'm leaving forever, right? I'm gonna go become a soldier or something. Because like he needs to feel like he's useful or wanted on some level. And like the military wants you. They explicitly told him that. The initiative wants him back. And they told him like, you don't belong here. And they're kind of right. He doesn't feel like he belongs. So I think that might be it for Riley. That might be the direction this is going. I guess just looking at the rest of the episode. I mean, we had a scene with Dawn where Dawn is, you know, she's realizing that a lot of people tell her that she's not real. And Dawn is starting to feel like people just don't like her, which is a very, you know, it's a very normal self-conscious teenager worry to have. But in her case, it's like exacerbates is even more so. But Buffy knows that they're right. So maybe Buffy can pierce together that whatever they see is something of like the truth. They have an insight that other people do not have, and she can take that to Giles and they can do some research on it, on like what the fuck that is. What is this wave of madness that we see happen? Because they are under the impression that the wave of madness followed by the Queller demon, that was all one thing that Glory did, when now we the audience know that was something that Glory did, and then the Doctor Man came in here to clean that up, and that's what the Queller demon was. So it is weird that it happens multiple times across the ages, so you think that it's just one event, but it's actually two people doing two separate things, and one of them is fixing the problem that the other creates. But then the question is, what is the problem? Like, what does a surviving person with that madness do that would be detrimental to them. And that's what I'm worried about with Joyce. Because, okay, no, if Joyce survives the surgery, which she might, I think she, actually now I'm thinking that if we go down this direction, then she will survive. The direction of what is a person who survives that has the madness. Because there is a reason why he's cleaning that up. There's a reason why he's killing those people so that the madness just stops. There's a reason why he's silencing those people. But Joyce lived. So because Joyce lived, I'm thinking, what will happen to her now? Because I'm assuming that something will. Because of the supernatural origin of the tumor. And also the fact that this is something that had to be silenced and cleaned up over the ages. So what happens to someone that doesn't die? Someone that stays alive with that? And that is very concerning to me. So if we're going to explore that direction, then Joyce will survive the surgery. And then it will become also very worrying about what will happen after that. So that's what I'm thinking. Spike showed up. You know, James Master had to collect the space check. He showed up and he was stalking Buffy. Well, he wasn't stalking Buffy. He was sneaking into Buffy's house, into her basement to steal pictures of her. Like, Spike is such an interesting character because I fully understand both sides of the discussion where people are like, man, he's fucking creepy, I hate him. And other people being like, yeah, but he is like a baby girl and I love him because he cares so much. And it's like, oh my god. It's like crazy the what Spike is doing here. The effect that Spike has on the fan base, I think. Just based on what I've seen over the years. And just like the appearances he has. Like he literally showed up for like 1 minute just to be weird and to give Buffy a knife and maybe to make Riley feel worse. That's it. That's the only reason why he was there. So okay, Spike showed up. That's what we got. I don't know what else to talk about with this episode. Like, that's enough things to talk about with, but I think I already covered them. Because, like, I already pierced together that the madness was connected on some level to whatever Joyce had. And I was also thinking that it was connected to seeing through Dawn and seeing, like, something in reality that it shouldn't be, right? So I already, like, pierced this together by myself. This is just confirmation, which made me feel very good. I already like that. But I just, maybe that's why the discussion is not as long as it probably would have been otherwise, because I already figured this out. Just virtue of overthinking like a crazy person. The one thing that now I'm like really hooked on about, I'm really thinking about it because it sounds cool, is that Drusilla has this too. Like, maybe, does Drusilla have prophetic visions? That's not something about her I necessarily remember, but I think that was the case. She could see the future. If that's true, then God, if Drusilla has what they have, like if they like recontextualize Drusilla to have what they have, and I might just be going on a huge tangent that has nothing to do with anything. But Drusilla is a character that in the show has the same thing that like the people with the madness here have. Like she just acts in a similar manner where she just says a bunch of crazy shit all the time. So what happens to a person that has that then survives? Drusilla survived because she became undead. She became a vampire. So if she has that, she survives. She has that. And I don't remember why, but I feel like she did have prophetic visions. Like she could see the future. Is that a part of Drusilla's character? I don't know. It's been a long time since season 2. But if that is the case, then whatever like Joyce has gives her like perfect clarity at the cost of her own like brain falling apart. So she says half of what she says is crazy shit and half of what she says is absolute truth. And if that's the case, then Joyce maybe will gain the gift of prophecy, weirdly, if she survives. But she will be drove insane as a result. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe if they take the tumor out, like that, maybe she'll just get the prophetic visions, or maybe she'll, I don't know what will happen, dude. I really kind of wish that Drusilla connects to this, because that would be really cool. I just had a perfect moment of clarity while looking at an ant on my desk about Drusilla, and I was like, wait, this is just like Drusilla's thing. So that would be really cool if that were to happen. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for this episode reaction to Buffy. Sorry if I've been looking at my phone too much while I was talking just now, but like I'm waiting for something that has to be delivered, so I'm just kind of like looking at the notifications, being like, oh, is it time or whatever. I just need to pay attention. So I'm sorry if it looked like I was checked out. I wasn't. I'm just really busy today, but I needed to record this. So that's gonna be it for this discussion. I don't think there's anything else. If I figure that there's something else, I'll just record an extra audio to tack on here. But otherwise, I think we're out of here. Let's see what happens to Joy's next episode. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. See you guys next time. Bye. And alright, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this reaction episode to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you would like to watch the next 2 episode reactions, full-in reactions, angel reactions, you can do so over at the Patreon. Check out the links below, social media, so it's cool stuff that I do. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. Take care.